facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums.
All right, guys, the Blitz is back. I'm Charlie Winkle here with Anthony Roberts and Josh Onan. Welcome to another episode of the Blitz the Bookie podcast. It is Tuesday, January the 20th. The college football season is a wrap, and the Indiana Hoosiers and Curt Cignetti, they did it 16-0 and undefeated national champions just 2 years after being basically the worst team in college football. Pretty cool story. We'll get into our thoughts about the game and also what we think about Indiana being national champs. We're also down to the Final Four in the NFL, conference championship games this weekend. NFC, I think we got the best two teams, the battle of the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams. And then in the AFC, you might be able to argue for another team or two, but I think we probably got the best two teams in the AFC as well. The Broncos and the Patriots, two teams that are pretty young, have great coaches, and two second-year quarterbacks that led them to the AFC Championship. Although Bo Nix is out for the season now with a broken ankle. That sucks, but I do think we're still set up for a couple good games. I always look forward to conference championship weekend. It's always bittersweet because the season's coming to an end, but usually get two really good matchups, two good games. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get into the show. Guys, before we dive into the game, the national championship, real quick, first initial thought on us actually saying the words, the Indiana Hoosiers are national champions in football. What do y'all think about that?
Boogie Flanagan just got something from a lady out in the stands and ate it.
A bag of popcorn. He got some popcorn out of her bag and then ate it.
Yeah. It was wild. Back to your question, Charlie. You want to ask it again just so we can
what is your thoughts about just the phrase, the Indiana Hoosiers are national champions? Not what you think about Indiana or what you think about Cignetti, just the thought of us sitting here saying those words.
For me, it don't surprise me. That's what college football is right now. And so it might surprise a lot of people. It's just that I think that's the new landscape of college football. I've been talking about it a couple years, and I feel like everybody else, my friends, family, people I talk to, they're catching up to realizing that it's here. So, I mean, it's odd, but it ain't odd to me because I look at it totally different now than what I looked at it before. How about you, Josh?
I think it's insane. It's crazy. The biggest surprise to me these last, say, year and a half is I didn't know this many Indiana football fans existed.
No doubt.
I mean, we have learned they have the largest alumni base in the United States. We know that spreads over 7 campuses in the state.
Richest too.
Yeah. I mean, they have 800,000 alumni, and their football team has been dog crap my entire life. The only player I could ever name until now was Antoine Randall L.
Penix?
Yeah, and Penix. He was good.
People forget that.
He was good. I really enjoyed watching him. Deep down inside, I wanted them to lose just because I had tweets and Facebook and TikTok posts loaded saying all of them could go back to being Notre Dame fans again. Because I think that's the most insane thing that these college fans, they have 2 teams. People in Indiana have 2 teams. Y'all know that, right? They have 2 teams.
You think Indiana fans are actually Notre Dame fans?
100%.
I think
100%.
I think you're kind of right, Josh. Maybe
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's a thing?
That's a thing.
So is it the other way around too, or is it just Indiana fans like Notre Dame fans are also Indiana fans?
No. Indiana fans are Notre Dame fans.
You got to cheer for your team no matter what. Kentucky's been in the same boat for years. We haven't been very good in football, and I've always been a Kentucky fan, so I don't agree with the whole 2-team thing. But I will say this, you said you're surprised that there's so many Indiana football fans. Well, I mean, they do get a little bit of a break. It's not like they're just a middle of the road.
Right. They were the worst.
They have been traditionally really bad at football in the cellar for years. So, I mean, it's hard for a team like that to,
I know. But you know
really
me.
get up for
You
it.
know me.
So-
I'm going to crap on anybody.
No,
when
I
get a
get
chance
I
to.
get it.
But that was, I mean, I understand, like, if you're like a Western Kentucky fan and a Louisville or Kentucky fan. I mean, it's not Power 5. Western Kentucky most likely will never win the national championship.
You can't like two major programs.
Right, dude. That's
not equally.
Oh, I know people that's got both hats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't agree with
I
that.
like multiple teams. I love a lot of college teams.
I do too. Yeah,
So,
I do too.
But I do not, like Charlie said, I do not love them equally.
Yeah, no, I like teams. There's teams that I like, but I'm a Kentucky fan and that's it. I'll cheer for other teams in situations, but I'm not a fan of those teams. You can't be a legit fan of two teams. I don't think.
Oh, they're out there. They're out there. Hey, and I know they're listening. And you know who you are.
That's a fake fan to me.
Fakes,
That's a fake
fakes.
fan to me. It just is.
I'm throwing them out.
So
You know who you are.
to me, I think it's unbelievable that Indiana is national champs in football. I think Anthony's underselling it because I get it. The landscape's changed. And it does make me more optimistic about maybe what Kentucky can do or other schools. Screw the other schools. Kentucky. I hope Kentucky can do this shit one day. I know our schedule's much harder. We've talked about all that. And I've even said I don't think that maybe Indiana's the blueprint for Kentucky. Maybe it's like a Vandy or something like that. But it does give me like more optimism for maybe Kentucky could do this. But again, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, if anybody would have said Indiana's going to be national champ, all right, let's just say before Cignetti got there,
It's to me.
we would have all said the percentage that Indiana wins a national championship in 2 years is what would the percentage?
0.
Maybe 1%. We would have probably said 0.
I feel like anybody can buy a team right now.
I agree with that.
I get that, but when you're looking at it, this isn't a 5 or a 10-year thing. This is 2 years ago. We would have literally sat here right in front of this camera 2 years ago before they got Cignetti. I'm pretty sure we all three would have said 0% that Indiana would win a national championship. So I think I get it. I get it. Like, it's changed. And I think in a couple more years, if we continue to see maybe teams like this get either to a national championship or close or win it, then yeah, we'll get used to it. But right now, that's crazy. It's crazy that it's not an Alabama, it's not a Georgia, it's not an Ohio State, it's not any of these big time teams. It's the Indiana Hoosiers. I think it's freaking nuts, and it does give me a little hope. Can Kentucky get to the playoff one day? I think we can, dude. I think we can. That's the best thing about it, dude.
Yeah, it's hope. There's hope. Hope.
Yeah,
it's called hope.
It is. I think there's pros and cons about this whole NIL thing. And I've heard a lot of people, including myself, and maybe both of y'all say that, maybe this is ruined, it's ruining college. Dude,
it's going to ruin
Is it though?
Yep.
The competition's really good when they kick the ball off. What we're seeing on the field is really good. Besides, maybe people are cheating. I think the product is good. And now a fan of a team like, not just a middle of the road like a Texas Tech. Now, if you're Kentucky or Indiana or Vandy, you can have hope that you can win the national championship.
If you got money.
Dude, that's crazy.
If you got money.
Well,
if you got money.
I mean,
now it goes from where your culture was, where like around you raising that's football talent like it was in the South before. That's what it was about then. If you look at the teams that were traditionally good outside of Notre Dame, and they really couldn't get over the hump, it was teams from those football rich states, the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Floridas, the Texas, the Ohio's. To me, that's deserved because that's your players. That's not every one of them, but that's where a lot of your talent come from. And now it's just who can get their checkbook out. And I'll say this, and I've been saying it. The reason the money is there because the sport is so popular. The sport is so popular because we spent the last 40, 50 years building the popularity of the sport. We all grew up watching it. That's why the money's there. You're going to do this, and it's already starting to see less numbers as far as TV ratings and things. It's turning people off, and I'm not saying it's going to happen fast, but I don't think there's no stopping it. I think this is unsustainable. I think it's unsustainable.
I agree. It's turning people off, and I agree there's a lot of things that need to change.
The money will dry up.
But I think there's a lot of people that are getting turned on. You got whole fan bases that didn't care about football that are now not only caring about football, but they legit have a chance to do some special shit. Vandy is another team that 2 to 3 years ago, we would have said 0% chance they'd ever be in a damn playoff. They didn't get there, but they were damn close. I think there's a lot of pros to this too. I agree with a lot of, they've got to make changes. They've got to put regulations. They got to do a lot of things.
5,000 Division I players entered the transfer portal this year. 5,000.
I think a lot of players are staying longer because they're getting paid. I think the product's better. I think the quality of the play's better.
I'm not sure.
I don't like the bouncing around. I don't like the instability of teams.
I'm not sure if the quality of the play's better. And I kind of thought that too, Charlie. I was kind of on the same page with you. But then as I watched Indiana, I studied them for 2 or 3 weeks, dude. I got obsessed with them. And I kept saying, oh, they're a well-oiled machine. They're so good. And I got thinking about it. And did we just forget what a team looked like that had been together 2 or 3 years because we don't see it no more? I don't know. I mean, that's a question I'm asking myself inside.
You're right. That's probably not going to be seen much anymore, but that you can't hold that against Cignetti and them.
No. Listen,
I mean, we're not going to see much of that anymore.
No, but I'm just saying,
forward.
I think Cignetti had the perfect storm in a sense that he came from JMU. I think he absolutely hit the lottery on a group of players. Good for him. They were his players. He recruited them. They were underranked guys. And that's the group that you see. I mean, almost all of his star players came from JMU with him. Not all of them, but almost all of them did. These last 2 years of Indiana's, the portal players he brought in, there wasn't a whole lot of stars in that. There was a couple good players, but there wasn't a whole lot of stars, so why didn't he hit on those? I think he just hit on a group that was absolutely awesome. They bought into his magic, and then they brought in a quarterback that absolutely – I mean, I think it was the perfect storm. Mm-hmm. I do not think he'll be able to reproduce that.
I think the quality of college sports all the way around, basketball, football, I think the quality of the actual play is much better now. I don't like the bouncing around of the players, but Kentucky, as a Kentucky fan, I'm kind of used to it because we dealt with the one and done for so long. So I got used to, a new roster every year. It's different in football because you're used to football teams staying together. And I don't like that part of it, but I like that there's a hope. Like Josh said, Kentucky fans, I wouldn't even have said this 4 months ago. I probably said on this show that I don't think that you can compare Kentucky to Indiana. But now I kind of do.
I tell you what, and I'm with you with the one and done thing. I get what you're saying, but I think it's different. I've made this argument with a good friend of mine. With the one and done, as much as people like it or didn't like it, and a lot of times they were just here for 1 year, but I feel like we got the very best of them for the most part for 1 year. I don't think you're getting the very best of these kids. I think if you're not on one of the top teams, I think you see kids quitting on teams. You see a lot of fake injuries. I think it has ruined the whole landscape of college football. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to watch it and still not support it. I hope that there are changes to fix it because I do not think it's sustainable. I think there's too many negative things going on with it. There's a few positives, but I think the negatives far outweigh the positives. And just talking to people, looking at the numbers, you're seeing a decline in popularity of college football right in front of our eyes that we've never seen before in our lives. I think it's always been on an upward trajectory.
Everybody I know that watched college football 5 years ago still watches it now. So
they say the numbers are down. The TV numbers.
They might be, but I don't know. I don't know one single person that doesn't watch it now that used to watch it.
I think it's turned people off. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's not happening fast. I think
it's the older generation. Yeah, it ain't turning away any 20-year-olds. They don't give a shit about that.
It's starting to turn me off a little bit.
Well, we're older.
Okay,
we're older.
Yeah, I'm 43.
I'm saying it's our age and older. But I think the younger generation, they're so used to this shit. I don't think it bothers them.
Is that good? So here's a question, Charlie. I know you coach kids too, and it's important to you, kids, because I've even thought about this myself. Is it good? I mean, I know we can't control it, but is it good for our youth to see that? Because I worry about Rex. This might sound silly, but I worry about Rex growing up in that culture where he's seeing that, where it's, it's all about money. And as much as we know that's what life's about, we still want to fight those, those ideas from our kids because we want to try to, raise them right, try to raise them with a good mind. We know they're going to get to that soon enough in life.
I hate it. I hate the fact, but
it's starting at we are way off topic, but it's starting at the youth level.
Yeah.
Okay. The kids are already, things get hard on the Blitz travel team. We're going to go to the Blitz green now.
Yeah.
And so it started 7, 8.
That don't happen. Hey, not to interrupt you. That don't happen on the Blitz. So it don't happen on the Blitz. But everybody else, you're right.
You know what I'm talking about? These kids, they may hop 3 teams in the summer.
You're right.
And then, so they get to college, it's the same thing. They're learning it now. Their parents are ingraining in them now.
That's what I was going to say. Look, you, as a parent, you got 18 years to instill in your kids some values, and you have to, because there's a lot of other things out in the world that can influence your kids too. So as a parent, you have to do your best to instill some values in them, try to teach them the right way, and hope that they grow up with some different values than just thinking everything's about the money.
Two things. I'll make a quick comment on this. I say to you, Josh, that, the Blitz baseball team isn't like that. But you know why it's not like that? Because you've had people that's been in leadership with that has not made that priority. Mm-hmm. There's been times when we haven't over-recruited kids, or like we've stuck with the guys, we invested in them. You know what so many coaches do this day and time? They just want to go out and get talent. They don't want to coach. They don't want to develop no talent. They don't want to do it, because guess why? You got to put time into somebody. And they really don't want to coach because they really want to coach. They want to coach because they want to win, or they have some kind of agenda for their kids, or they want to be in control so their kids get playing time. There's all kinds of agendas. Some of them is about making money, stealing money from their teams or whatever. There's a lot of different agendas there. But with our team, that you didn't have that, because you had good people that were in leadership roles on that team. And I truly believe that. But the culture our kids are growing up in, I got to be careful with my son, because I don't want him to think this is normal. Listen, I love the games. I enjoy watching them, enjoy that action. Okay. But I don't want my son to think that the action is good. That's always, that dad always likes the action. And, I get feeling guilty about that. I did this week, got feeling really guilty. My kid don't need to see that, because I don't want my kid to think it's about the action one day. So sorry on the rant.
No, it was good stuff.
All right. Well, let's talk about the actual game. It turned out to be a good game. It didn't get out of hand like the other Indiana games have in the playoffs. Besides that block punt, man, you take away that block punt. Now, they were about to get the ball back, so who's to say they don't score a touchdown on that drive? But that block punt changed it up, because Miami could have been kind of in control late in that game instead of playing a little bit from behind like they were. I was a little bit worried about it getting out of hand when it got to 10-0, but being 10-0 at halftime, and the way that Indiana kind of controlled, I don't want to say dominated the first half, but they really controlled it. It could have been a lot worse than 10-0. So I thought Miami was in a good spot at halftime. They came out immediately in the second half. You could tell they made some adjustments defensively. They were getting after the quarterback early, and they made it a good game. So what'd y'all think? I mean,
I thought, call me a hater, call me whatever, I think the best team lost.
I think you've said that about every game. In the playoffs.
I haven't. I do. I think the best team lost. I'll say this. I'm going to go back to it. They had a block punt for a touchdown. The other drive, they had 2 third downs, which ended up with penalties that would have ended the drive. I'm not saying they were right or wrong. I'm just saying they had 2 third downs it was going to be 4th down. And they got penalties on both of them.
3 times 3.
Oh, yeah. That was on one drive. They got a touchdown. The other touchdown was a block punt. And the other one, they got 2 4th downs. One crazy catch by Becker over there, which awesome catch. I'll give him credit. And the other one, he was going to come out field goal. So in reality, all those touchdowns, I'm not going to say they were luck, because they weren't luck, because they drove it. But I'm just saying they could have went the other way. I thought Miami absolutely had to earn all theirs. And it's whatever. It don't matter if you earned them or not. They earned it because they blocked the punt. But I'm just saying, I think Miami was the better team.
They got outplayed quite a bit in the first half.
I don't think they did as much as you. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I thought Miami's defense was stout in the first half, and I even thought they
held a minute. They held a minute for sure, but they almost got wore down in the first half. They were on the field basically the whole damn first half. I thought they were going to be wore out because of that first half.
Well, they got their corner at halftime. That was huge. If he would have played the first half, they might not have got that touchdown. That guy, he's good. He's one of their top corners, and you could see a difference. They went to some man coverage on the edge there and was able to bring pressure. They couldn't do that early because they didn't trust that corner was in the game as much. He was definitely a big add, I think, at halftime. I was kind of looking forward to him coming in the game, and I think it allowed them to do things with their defense that allowed them to get after Mendoza. But I think if the game would have went on anymore, I think Miami had the momentum. They had the momentum there at the end, man. I really felt like Indiana was tired. Me and Josh were talking about this a little bit before you came down. I think with all teams, because you can't have depth like you used to, I think all these teams
I
are
thought
starting to wear down.
I thought
at
we
the
really
end.
noticed it in the playoff.
Yeah.
Well, we saw last week Miami's defense get wore down, and they controlled the time, and their defense still got wore down. So that's why I was worried late in the second quarter when their defense could not get off the field in the whole first half. I was thinking, well, the second half they're going to really be wore down. But I thought they did a great job of coming out and getting early pressure and making it a game. Their defense held them in the game. They
were so fit. I think I wrote it down here. I think that the physicality of that first half really bothered Indiana a little bit.
Oh, it did.
I mean, they were physical. A lot of hand fighting. I mean, if you go back and watch some of those replays, man, there was pass interference on Miami. And Indiana was hand fighting too. I'm not just shooting shots at Miami, but they were letting those receivers, a lot of holding the wrist.
There was 4 or 5 of them.
It was both ways, though, because Miami had a few against them, too, where the guy got there early and Herbstreit said, well, that's just the way the game's called now. If you get there a little bit early, you're good.
Let me go in on Herbstreit real quick.
Yeah.
All right, because when Mendoza got popped on that handoff, dude, that was the definition of targeting. Okay?
It was dirty.
It was. I thought it was a dirty play, too. That's what the guy was looking to pop.
I think if you come off now the helmet, I'll give y'all that. I don't know about that. You come off and you're trying to do a fake handoff, I'm popping your ass. I'm popping your ass.
I agree with the hit.
You are trying to run out a fake. You are a football player. What happens if I bite on that fake and then I look like an idiot? You're going down. If you give me a chance to hit your quarterback, you're going down.
What I don't like is it happens in the NFL this weekend, and people were talking about it on the internet, and this is the play that kind of ticked me off last night, and I wasn't even going to bring this up, but when he got hit and we saw it was helmet to helmet, Kirk Herbstreit would not go against the call on the field.
Oh, they won't do it. They won't do it.
Bullshit,
they won't do it.
Man.
I'm with you.
Dude, he would not go against that call on the field.
They won't do it either way. They won't do it either.
I don't care if the ref but then when they bring in the ref,
I think he
don't do it either.
I think
he did it. He did it yesterday.
But he won't eat at them. He won't eat at them.
He said, yeah, that is the definition of targeting. He said it in a kind of a way, and then Kirk Herbstreit kind of changed his tone on the call. Yeah, that was kind of a dirty play. Man, that's bullshit, Kirk.
I think
you're in the boot to have an opinion. Why can't we criticize these officials?
I don't think he's allowed to.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're
I don't
allowed
think
to.
I think them.
You don't even have to criticize them and say they're bad refs. Like, hey, the ref missed that one. I think, they go back and look at that one. That's targeting. Why can't you say that?
I think you should be able to say more than that. I think you should be able to dog them. Those head officials, the Gino Sarnatori or whatever, there's a couple of them. Yeah. I think those guys are put there either by the NCAA or NFL almost as a buffer to almost like to work that angle. Because they're put there for that reason.
They will go against them not very often. And when they do, like you said, they'll say it, but they won't just be like, oh, that was a wrong call. They'll try to dance around.
And I like Kirk Herbstreit a lot.
I do too.
I think he does he does those Thursday night games on the NFL. I don't think that's nearly as good as his college game.
Well,
he doesn't have the knowledge.
That's his thing.
But man, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way last night during that championship game.
Think about it like this. So those guys, they're brought on there. So say the TV station brings them on there to do that. If the NFL or college football didn't like that, they would shut that shit down in a second. You don't just do that. So you're going to bring a guy in to question my guy, which I give you the contract? Bullshit. That didn't happen like that. That didn't happen like that. That was brought in by the NCAA, by the NFL. You don't bring in a guy to question my guy when I give you a multi-billion or multi-million-dollar contract. That don't happen. So there's no doubt that person was put there, if you think about it like that, and that's the only way to think about it, by the NCAA or NFL. That's who they're put there by.
They're probably still Sterator is probably still an NFL employee.
Yes, I agree, Charlie.
I mean, I don't know that for sure. He might just be a retired referee.
They need to get stricter. They need to get stricter on the pass.
Regardless, they're not going to ever just straight up say that was a blown call. They got it wrong. They'll dance around it. And I'm not saying they should just fry their own guy because that's their colleagues, kind of, especially the Sterator. He probably worked with a lot of those guys.
But if that's your job, that's why you're getting paid.
I know, but yeah, I don't expect them to just grill them, but they should absolutely say when it's a blown call.
I do. He's wrong. Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. They're humans, dude. We know they're going to get them wrong sometimes.
To me, that's why you got him there. But if you're doing it for that reason, but obviously he's not.
Right, exactly. Why is this guy there if he's not going to correct the call that was on the field that may have been wrong. They
like you
did
said,
it all weekend.
He's trying to be a buffer. He's trying to be the buffer. So if there is a blown call on the field, you get him in front of the camera. You tell him it wasn't a blown call, or maybe they should have did this. Or
they're going to review this and they'll change.
You're trying to calm down the fans that are watching on TV that are pissed off about your blown call. You're going to try to at least calm down half of them.
I guarantee if you think about it and you're just logical about it, that person was put there by either the NCAA or the NFL. Like that wasn't the TV's idea. That was the NFL or NCAA that came up with that.
I agree with that. Before we move on off that topic real quick, I've always thought about this, and I think I've heard people ask about this. Do y'all think referees should have to talk to the media after games? Because they never have been. They never have to answer for any of the calls. I'm not saying they should. I could go either way on this, because I'm actually to the point now with these head coaches and their post games. I don't even think they should have to talk post game. I think a coach, if you want them to do a post game, I think it should be the next morning.
Yep, I agree with that.
I don't like this right 10 minutes after a fucking loss, and some of these losses are devastating to these guys. You want to get them, put them right in front of the freaking camera 10 minutes, and then you want to pick apart all the shit that they say and their facial expressions and their body language. Oh, I mean, I'm not against the coaches talking to the media, because I do think they should have to answer some questions, but I think it should be the next day. But what about the refs? Do you think the refs should have to talk to the media?
I'll say this, that if you're going to do that and make them talk, I think you got to start calling the game tighter, because I think they're at a point now in football where they're just letting so much go on both sides. They're letting so much go. And if you're going to have people asking those officials questions, then you got it. To me, that's got to be the NFL or the NCAA saying, don't call holdings. Don't call this pass interference if they're a second early. These are the things we're seeing.
That gives me more reason to say make them do post games.
Sure.
I mean, let's.
Do y'all think they're starting
to have to answer something?
Hey, they're still listen. I'm not saying they should call every single thing. And I know the argument with the holding is they hold every play. Yes, but there's some that are worse than others. And they're not calling none no more, dude. The holding call has disappeared in football.
It was funny. You text last night saying, man, Indiana's holding every play.
Mm-hmm.
And I agreed.
And Miami is too.
But then all of a sudden, I just noticed Miami holding the rest of the game.
They are.
It was nuts.
They're all holding. But there's different degrees to which they're doing it.
They hold for so long, and then they release.
But it used to be if you got outside, you couldn't get them on the outside. It couldn't be extension. Dude, they're tackling them now, dude. They're tackling them.
But back to what you said, Charlie, and it was funny that you said this, because this was going to be my answer. You talk about the coaches not responding until the next day. I think the refs shouldn't have to respond to the next day.
I'm good with that too. But do you think they should have to talk?
Yes.
Do you think they should have to talk?
But
just yes or no.
Not unless they let them call a game strict. Because I think
regardless of that, do you think they should have to talk?
Well, think about it, though. If they're probably taking orders from the NCAA or NFL head, or maybe the head referee, which is getting his orders from the NCAA saying, hey, we don't want this called here. So if you're going to hold them accountable, somebody's going to ask them questions. They got to be able to call the game to the way they think it should be called, but I don't think they're allowed to do that. I think they have to stay within whatever the norm is at that point of officiating.
Should they have to answer questions?
No, not if they're not going to let them call it stricter.
You think they should?
I think they should, but again, I think it should be. They should come up with some type of a system to give these guys a chance, because they're going over every play. I mean, there's nothing harder to referee than a football game. Those guys are moving faster than they've ever.
I totally agree.
So maybe give these guys a chance to kind of review the tape on themselves.
I get it.
Then that way they can answer the questions that are asked. I think that's why they need to wait till the next day, because those guys within the next few days are getting tape on themselves, and they get graded on every game that they do.
But I just think it's weird that coaches got to talk, players got to talk, even college kids, dude. They put them in front of these freaking mics 10 minutes after they lose a game, and then the refs, dude, they never have to answer for anything. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I do think if you're going to make the coaches and the players, if you're going to make them do it, I think you should make the refs do it too.
How do you answer this question if you're a ref, Hope? You're sitting there.
I don't care about that. I just think they got to figure that out.
I know
Ref the game. Train them right. Okay. Train them better.
Okay, but they'd have to make it sure. Like if you think that's a holding as a referee, okay, or you think it's a pass interference, but college football or whoever's in control don't want you to call that, and you know that because that's become the norm. How do you answer that question?
Honestly, it would be a bunch of hoopla, just like the coaches' press conference. You probably wouldn't get a ton out of it. it'd probably be worthless because they would probably come up with a little system on here's their answers to these
premeditated questions.
Yeah, and they'll have their, well, this is what the playbook reads and this is what I saw. And it'll end up probably being worthless. But it's just always been weird to me how refs don't have to answer any type of questions.
It's emotional. Hey, I love what you said about the coaches. I'll even to go one further. And I know people have been knocking the kid, but I can relate. Like Fletcher, he threw the punch at the kid, okay, last night, the running back from Miami. I've never seen no problems from that kid, but I'm going to say this, and I am taking up for him. I'll take up for him. I've seen my Indiana hot dog a little bit. I'm not saying that's wrong. Miami probably would have done the same thing, okay? I'm not saying like that's just what kids do. I'm not saying I agree with it. I wouldn't do it, but I'm older. I never really was built like that. I try to teach my kid against it. But I know as to work, you just got done competing. There's been a lot of shit talking in there. But that was a very emotional game. Very emotional game, very hard fought game. End of the season to win the national title. We're talking about a game that came down to the very end. The boy was out there competing hard. They're probably talking a lot of shit. He probably don't say nothing during the game because he's smart. He don't want the penalty. And then when it's over, and I'm not knocking Indiana because I think Miami would have been doing the same thing. They were going like this with the U down or whatever. The game's over now. The season's over now. And you're going to do that in my face. And after I just had that emotional deal, we're probably going to fight. That's when I'm going to fight you right then. Like, I'm not going to do it during the game and get the penalty. I don't even play for these teams. And I felt emotionally connected to the game. Like I was ready to fight with the kid.
That's a bad look, dude.
It might be. It might be. But Charlie, I feel like
especially if it was just over this.
No, but I'm sure I'm sure there was more in that. He probably wanted to do it during the game, but didn't want to get the flag. And now the season's not just the game's over, so the season's over. I'm not saying it's right.
There could be some shit that somebody could say that would probably make me throw a punch. Of course, I made a video about this and said it was unacceptable. I do think it was unacceptable. But to be fair, somebody mentioned, well, even if he said something about your dead dad that just died last year or something, and, my dad died, it's been 5 or 6 years, right. But it, struck a little nerve with me.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if somebody said that to me on the field, maybe I am whooping your ass. So I do think there might be some shit that could be said, but if it was just over this or just losing the game, I don't like it. Now, again, we don't know what was said, and maybe there was reason for him to do that, but it is a bad look.
Have you ever been there before? I mean, I think I have, just coaching. I feel like I've been there, like where it's been a hard fought game. There's been some shit talking.
Oh, but I've been there. We've been there plenty of times together.
Well, I'm just saying, like you lose. Look. So it's a hard fought game. They're talking shit, and then they just beat you, like because it just come down to nothing.
No punches.
Well,
I'm at least trying to keep it to just me running my jaws.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just saying. I think emotions are super high, and I go back to what you said about the coaches. We talked about this during games. Like it'd be a pivotal situation, or they just had 2 touchdowns scored on them, and they'll want to put a microphone right in their face. Like, dude, get away from them, dude. Like, God bless.
Speaking of microphones in face, we had the classic Mendoza interview on the field again, screaming and thanking Jesus 14 times. Which I look, I'm not criticizing that. I love that. I love that. I love the Jesus part. I love the Jesus part. I don't think that's fake. I'm gonna tell you 100% what was fake though. You go back and watch it. The very end of his interview. Did y'all see this? Did you see it?
Go ahead.
The very end, he goes and turns away from the camera. Completely fake, because there was another camera that was on him right when he turned and he wasn't crying. Go watch it.
Cignetti's fake too. Let me tell you what he does.
Shit was funny.
He knows the camera's on him. That's when he does this shit right here. Look, he goes.
Oh, he's always like that, dude.
Yeah, but he knows the camera's on him.
Shit,
it's become
cameras everywhere.
I know, but that's become a thing for him. That's become a thing. I knew Mendoza was fake as soon as he started talking that. You cannot be in a locker room and talk like that. Look, Tim Tebow was a leader. He definitely was a church dude. But Tim Tebow still came across as a football player, like one of the boys, okay? Like, yeah, he was a straight edge dude, but he came as one of the boys. You cannot lead a locker room like Mendoza is.
All you're going by is his voice and his interview.
Yeah,
you don't know what he's like.
Shit.
He seems like a square, no doubt.
Square shit.
But we don't know what he's like in that locker room.
Cignetti rules that locker room, and they've won every game. You go into the NFL or a team, and you have a couple losses, and you start talking that little square ass shit, you're done. Like you're done. You know I'm telling the
Can
truth.
you imagine him talking that to Raiders Nation?
Dude, it don't work, dude. That's fake. And that's why I guess it's
I
turned
don't
me
think it's
against
all
him.
fake, but I'm gonna tell you the last 2 seconds of his interview. Go watch it. On-field interview last night. He goes just like that. It was so fake.
And I
Turned away, got caught by another camera, and he was smiling again. That is wild. I don't think all the Jesus stuff is fake. I think he's always talking.
yeah.
And he does sound like a square. He doesn't sound like a Miami kid by any means, and he doesn't seem like a Raider Nation type of guy.
He's trying to get that number one. You know, I tell you what I think happened. I think he's trying to get that number one pick, and I think he went overboard. And Josh even said he's seen a thing where he said "fuck." Okay,
in the interview.
When last night?
I think he dropped the F-bomb.
and I think that was calculated. I think because there's been a little pushback from people like me that said, "Dude, come on, dude, like this ain't gonna work." Like there's been some chatter of that. Okay, I ain't the only one that said it. And I think that was pushback for that. Like, I think everything the dude does is calculated. I'm going to tell you one thing he don't do. He won't throw to the middle of the field on a zone. He got 2 passes. He got the back shoulder pass and a pick pass.
He got a 10-yard out. He got a 10-yard out. He's got the back shoulder. He got that back shoulder down, boy.
And I'm going to tell you what, his receivers do a hell of a job for him fighting for those balls because there's sometimes he throws it, the guys are right on him. But I'll give Becker and Surratt a lot of credit, dude. They fight for a lot of those 50-50 balls because people start playing them for it. You know,
hey, how good is Charlie Becker for real?
He can catch.
Is he like a top 5 or 10 receiver in the country?
Nice.
He can
The
catch.
kid is good, dude.
He saved him on 4th down.
He is real good.
Dude, that was a bad pass.
Yeah, he readjusted too for that
dude.
pass.
Yeah,
and it almost got through his hands.
Yeah,
That was
my dad
4th
thought
down.
he should have got MVP over Mendoza.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Speaking of that, this is another thing I noticed. There was, who was it?
I like that call. I do.
It was I don't know who it was, but there was somebody standing right next to who announced, was it Fowler? Who announced the MVP? Whoever it was.
It was,
Was it
yes.
Chris Fowler?
Yeah.
There was one of the Indiana guys was standing right next to him when he announced it, and dude, the dude didn't smile. Mendoza was actually, the guy speaking was here, and the guy I'm talking about was standing right next to him. Mendoza was on this side. He called Mendoza's name for the MVP. I was watching the dude right next to him, stone face, no smile, no nothing. Mendoza walked right in front of him, no pat to the chest, no high five.
Because he probably knows he's overrated. That guy's so overrated.
Hey, I'm
He's
not
so
saying
overrated.
it was anything, but if you go back and watch that, the dude standing right next to him and Mendoza walked right past him, you figure there would have been a pat on the chest,
Right, yeah.
a little high five, maybe a smile. Dude, it almost looked like the dude was pissed. I don't even know who it was. I can't remember who it was, but it didn't look like he was very happy for his quarterback.
I feel
right
like
there.
I'm gonna tell you a couple things I've seen. Every throw he makes, I feel like it's like his design, and he's going there almost no matter what. I feel like he probably has a few times where he like reads a defense and goes through progressions. I either think
I agree with that.
He knows,
seems like he goes to his first read almost every time.
He knows he's going to that back shoulder. I've watched a lot of film on Indiana. They'll design something and it's going to one guy. It's going to one guy, and they just execute it so good. Okay, and they got receivers that are really good at fighting for the ball. Surratt and Becker are excellent at fighting for the ball. The way you beat them, you got to shut down the run game because what they do is they get you to come up. We've talked about that over and over. I'm going to tell you, when he gets pressure, I do like him as a runner. I think he's a better runner than people think he is. I'll say that.
Well, we saw it last night.
But I do not think that he deals with the pressure good when it comes. Now, if he can get out of it and run, I think he does a pretty good job. But, dude, I think he gets kind of weird when pressure comes. They smacked him pretty good. I think they exposed the kid. I've said it for a while. I do not think the kid is a number one pick. Somebody that is just throwing out routes and back shoulder and picks. Like, everything's just predetermined. I never see him work the middle of the field going through progressions.
No,
like, I never see it.
He does throw a tight spiral. He's pretty accurate, and he loves throwing to the sidelines. But, you'll get figured out in the NFL real quick. I don't think there is a quarterback in this draft that is number one overall material. I'm not trying to dog the kid. He just does not seem. I'm with you. I don't think he's a number one overall. Maybe he proves us wrong. I don't know. I do think he throws a really nice ball, and I think he's very accurate, and that could help. But we've seen a lot of college quarterbacks that are accurate, and they don't end up being shit in the NFL. So you're going to have more than just some accuracy in college because guess what? Throwing against the NFL guys, it ain't throwing against college.
Let me tell you
Let me
tell you a ball he don't throw good, in my opinion. His long ball is not very good. Not very good.
Not very good.
Did he even throw one?
He don't. When you have seen him, I've watched videos that he's kind of got like he threw that bomb, which was good, but a lot of times when they're in games, on a lot of those long routes, they're short. He does not throw a good deep ball. And
I don't even remember a deep pass last night.
Everything's predetermined in that offense. They're like, everything's designed, and we're going here.
So, yeah, Indiana national champs. Before we move on.
Hold on. I got one more thing about the game, then we can go on. Just real quick. Carson Beck, do y'all think that Shannon
I'm glad
Dawson –
you said that.
Y'all think Shannon Dawson held him back in the first half?
Oh, yeah.
You had that 4th down and 1.
I do.
And they ran it and were stopped. And then there was another time it was 4th and 1. I thought they were going to go for it. I think this was still in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And they choose to punt, and they flashed to Carson Beck on the sideline just to kind of see his face. I mean,
but Carson Beck,
I felt like were they protecting Carson Beck?
Well, I think they were protecting the team. That's how they've been playing in the playoffs to win. But I'm with you.
They were too conservative in the first half.
But that won them a lot of games.
And then he opened it up on the last. And then the last play he does that. Maybe he gets a little more confident.
Well,
if he throws a little something different in the first half. I don't know.
To answer the question, I think they were too conservative in the first half. But look, I know Anthony's going to say, at the end of the game, and that was a terrible throw. I'm not backing the kid. It was a terrible throw to end your freaking career. But I do think they were being too conservative in the first half. I do.
They were. And you know what? I'll say you're right. I think this is what I think happened. And I think this is a mistake that a lot of people make against Indiana. It's a pride thing, guys. It's a pride thing. I texted y'all a few times, pride. I seen it with Dan Lanning. I seen it with DeBoer. You get these coaches, dude. Look, these coaches don't think Cignetti's no better than them, and I agree with them. But he's got a really good group right now, and it really makes him look good. Because I even bought into it for a second. I really got watching him. I'm like, dude, he's just got some players that are really good, and they execute really well. But you get this pride thing. Dan Lanning, he's a tough guy. He thinks he can run against anybody. That's that mindset. You can say it's wrong, and I can say it's wrong.
That's right. It'd be wrong if they thought he was some kind of god.
Yeah,
ain't none of them guys gonna think Cignetti's no better than them.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you have this pride thing, and I think it's a good thing to have. People say, "What's a coach that's stubborn and ain't no good?" I think your best competitors are stubborn. Now, you can do it to a fault, and it can make you look bad. It can, but if you believe in what you're doing, if you really believe what you're doing as a coach, and the good ones do, then you got to keep cooking. But when you become one-dimensional for Indiana, against Indiana, they're going to win. They're going to win against the run because they literally got these guys and they just start shooting. And that's what they did on them. And they needed to let Carson Beck pass the ball more in the first half. But that is what got them that far because, Carson Beck's been known to throw a lot of interceptions, fall apart. And he really had been managing the game. And that's what got them that far. That's what got them to that point was being conservative, letting their defense cook. But I think at halftime they went in and said, look, guys, we cannot be one-dimensional. We had talked about it in our text. You cannot be one-dimensional at that point. So they come out and let him pass. And I do think that was a good difference for Miami because what happens at that point, now you got to back up a little bit. Now you can't play downhill so much. And you're gettable at that point. I told you, Oregon had a lot of opportunities that Dante Moore didn't see that were downfield, but they play so aggressive until you hit them, they're not going to come out of that. Like I said, I think a big part of what helped Miami, too, on defense is get McKinney back in the second half. He's one of their best corners. Him and Frederick are their two best corners. It allowed them to do more man coverage on the outside. It allowed them to get after him with the pass rush. And I think that was the biggest difference.
Yeah, and then Carson Beck, every loss this year, I think he even go back in his career, his last 4 losses as a quarterback have ended with him throwing an interception.
Have they really?
Yeah. All 3 this year against U of L, against SMU, and then yesterday against Indiana.
That sucks for him.
I can't get into it. I'm not in it. Some of it might have been the receivers.
He made some good throws,
but he had all day, dude. It's either the receiver's fault or his fault, or maybe it's combined. But dude, I'm sitting there thinking like somebody's got to be open. Somebody's got to be open. It's been like 10 seconds. Somebody's got to be working open.
They still covering.
Yeah,
that's why he had time because the rushing forward.
So you still should be able to wiggle open with that much time. But some of that could be the receivers.
He had a lot of time, but I agree with Josh. There was a handful of throws that were really good throws.
He throws a good ball.
I'm not saying he's the best or whatever. Yeah. It sucks that he choked at the end. It is what it is. It was a terrible throw. Can't put that on anybody.
I don't think he saw the corner.
Yeah,
there's no way he saw that cornerback.
That last throw it was on him, period, end of story. But I do like the point you made of when they showed him. I think I saw 2 or 3 times throughout the game where I think he showed a little bit of frustration
with the
just
play
with
call.
a little facial expression
seen
or
it.
nothing big, nothing
No,
that stood
no,
out.
yeah.
But it was just something I was kind of watching him, and maybe a little shake of the head. I feel like I saw it 2 or 3
Oh, yeah.
times.
That's
But-
what that was them coaches saying, dude, this is what got us this far. We don't trust you. But you had to trust him going in the second half. Wish they would have done it earlier, but they'd won a lot of games that way. The games they had lost this year, it's because he had some blow ups. So I see it both ways. I see it Carson's way a little bit, but I see it the coaching staff's way too. I will make this comment. I watch this guy and I give him a shout out. I've become a big fan of his. It's Film Network guy. He's on YouTube, different things, and he breaks down film. And he talked about how Dan Lanning always says, find the donkey on the offensive line, and you attack him all night. By that saying, find the weak spot in the offensive line and go after him all night. The guy on the Film Network guy, he said, the donkey on the Indiana offensive line is 67. 67. Now, I'm going to tell you what. Before the game, he was on him, and they ate that dude alive.
They did.
Ate him alive.
I almost texted to you. I was like, 67's in for a long night. I swear.
That's a tough defensive line to handle,
Yes.
though, boy. Them boys ain't no joke.
But, we
son.
seen that afterwards, and, he's seen it before. Hey, the guy's sharp. If you ever want to learn some football on film, he's taught me a lot just watching him. He's good.
Before we move on, I do want to give a shout out to Mario Cristobal, the guy that has been known to fuck it up at the end. Yeah, he had a good year this year, and he didn't fuck it up at the end. They had a chance. Another thing I give him credit for, early in the first half, lines up for a field goal on 4th and 2 when 98% of these other freaking coaches are going for it, and the dude freaking dinks it and misses it.
That was a big miss.
I hated that because that was the right decision to kick that field goal. He made the right decision. I think it wasn't because it wasn't 4th and 1. It might have even been like 4th and 3.
It don't matter. Even if he gets it, there's still a time issue, and defense has been playing awesome. If you can go in just down 7, that was the right call.
It was
Hands down.
was the right call.
Yeah.
And
he's
probably like, but next year I'm going for that shit.
No, he was happy with that.
I give props to Cristobal. I did not like him. I think he's a good coach, dude. I've turned around on Cristobal. I like the guy. He shows some passion out there, and he didn't fuck it up this year. And he put his team in position to win it all when they thought. A lot of people thought they were out early in the year, so I give him credit, and I like the guy. I did not like him, and now I'm a fan of Cristobal. Kind of like you. You liked Cignetti, and now you hate him.
Wait, listen, I know he's a good coach. I hate that they built him bigger in life. And then I got learning a little bit more about him. Yeah, I knew about Indiana. I knew they were really good. I was buying in. But there's a difference between knowing about a team, and I became obsessed with them. I became obsessed with trying to figure out what they're doing, how to beat them. It was something I was doing for fun. I was watching a lot of film. I enjoyed that, okay? I was listening to that guy on the Film Network guy. I was kind of learning some stuff from him and really just learning about their team. And at the end of the day, I came to the conclusion they just got a lot of really good players that know how to execute. People say they don't have talent. They had a lot of talent.
All right, so before we go to the NFL, Cignetti, what do y'all think's next for Cignetti? Does he bolt? Is he gone? Does he go coach the Steelers? I know I did make a video about that, but I do think there's a little something to that. He's from Pittsburgh. I think they might make that call. I think they should absolutely make the call, whether they get him or not. Do you think he goes to the NFL? Does he bolt? Does he stay at Indiana forever? What do y'all think the future holds for Cignetti, the guy that came into Indiana talking mad shit, and now he's got a national championship 2 years later?
No, he backed it up.
What do you think?
So this is my prediction. I predict he's going to stay in college. And the reason I say that is because I read something that said he ain't an NFL guy.
I've heard people say
okay,
that.
If I didn't read that, I probably would have thought it because to me, he's a smart guy. And I think there is a very low probability that he can duplicate that because I will go back to, I think it was once I learned about their team and where everybody came from, I think it was the perfect storm of NIL, him going to Indiana where they were able to pick up a few more players because of money. And then at JMU is able to bring a lot of those star players over and he hit on them. And when he did that, he had a culture in place, which you don't get no more, and really good players. And then he gets a quarterback that's probably the only quarterback you could bring into that and adapt right into it because he's kind of a square guy in that culture. And I just think it was the perfect storm. If you look at like his portal players he's brought over the last year or two at Indiana, he's had a couple good ones, but nothing like Surratt, nothing like Fisher, nothing like Pons, nothing like Black. So if he was such a guru and able to pick out those guys so much, wouldn't he have had a bunch of those guys from the portal? Actually, a lot of guys he's had, they're transferring out again. So he ain't doing no magic nobody else is doing. I know that's what these coaches are thinking. So I do think he's going to have a really hard time following it up. If you look at his recruiting class, it's nothing special. His portal class is like number 2 or 3, but actually like number 4 or 5. If you go by the average ranked player, he's just got a few more than everybody else, which makes him go up to like 2nd or 3rd. But there's nothing. It's a really good portal class, but it's nothing like absolutely amazing. He's got a lot to live up to because he sold himself as this magician, as this Google me guy. And I'm going to tell you what. If he does have a down year, he's going to take some ass kickings because I think he's got a lot of coaches pissed off around college football. And I think if they can keep the gas down, they're going to take his head, hold it down in the water, and smack the shit out of him.
All he did was say, all I do is win, Google me. And now all he has done is win.
That's
so,
right.
I mean, it ain't that bad.
Because he don't take his subs out the late in the game.
Oh, whatever. But so what's your prediction on you said he's staying in college. You think he just stays at Indiana?
Yeah, I
you
do.
think he stays at Indiana?
I don't know why he would leave anywhere. Not in today's world. Not with NIL, and they got plenty of money.
He just ends his career in Indiana. What do you think, Josh?
I think he's sticking around. He made a comment last night during the trophy ceremony that people gave up on Indiana a few years ago, but he brought them back. He was very cocky, very Cignetti. He brought them back, and he feels like this is a new changing of the guard. People don't think they could do it here, and all this shit. He's not going nowhere.
That's building his own shit up.
They're going to have to drag his ass out of there.
Saban's made a couple comments at him that are directed at him. Them comments are directed at him.
Anytime I hear a coach say, I'm not going to do this or I don't want it, that shit means nothing.
Saban said it. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. Not going to do it.
But very, very rarely can you believe that shit because they got to say what they got. He's not going to get up there on that podium last night and say anything other than whatever the hell he said. He just got an extension, I think, at the beginning of this year. He'll probably stay, I guess. There's no real type of rumors out there that I've heard about him maybe bolting for Pittsburgh. To me, why would you stay? Because can it get better? Well, actually, no, it can't get better. You're 16-0, undefeated, national champion.
Heisman Trophy.
And you got to replace your whole team, and you're the Google me guy now.
And can you get another team of that caliber? Can you get them to buy in? Probably not going undefeated. But look, the next thing that comes for a guy like Cignetti at Indiana is criticism.
Expectations
are up here. You know where they're at? 16-0 and a freaking national championship.
Well, because
that's not happening next year.
Because everybody's built him out to be the grand wizard. So
yeah, but that's my point. From here, this is where you're at Indiana. You're at the top of the world, okay? At the top of the college football world. Unless you can plateau and stay up there and just keep winning national championships every year, guess where you're headed? You're headed this way, and guess what comes with a loss or 2 or 3 losses next year?
Criticism.
A bunch of criticism. So to me, yeah, it would be a dick move. Indiana fans would be pissed.
You mean Notre Dame fans?
Notre Dame fans would be pissed. He would go back on his word of whatever he said last night on the podium. But look, you can't go anywhere but down from where you're at in college football, unless you want to go coach Michigan or go coach Alabama or something. But he's from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a track record of being very loyal to their head coaches and giving them plenty of time to figure it out. They don't fire coaches. They've had like 4 coaches in 70 years.
I see what you're saying, Charlie.
So I don't think it would be a worry where Cignetti would be like, well, I'm going to take this job, and if I don't perform in the next 2 years, I'm going to get fired. I think he would be very comfortable in Pittsburgh knowing that the Rooneys they're not just going to throw him to the wolves. He's a Pittsburgh guy. I think it would be a absolutely perfect situation for Cignetti. I don't think it's probably going to happen, but I think it should, because you're going downhill after this. You ain't going undefeated. And if you go undefeated next year with a new group and win the national championship, you are the greatest coach of all time.
You are.
Period. End of story.
Yep.
But most likely you're going to start getting criticized.
He's got to replace
for your
the whole
recruiting.
team.
Yeah, you're going to start. If you don't bring in the right guys, guess what? Now,
You ain't the wizard no more.
And you lose a game or two. Oh, was it just that group? It's nothing but downhill and criticism from Indiana fans and from college football national pundits from here on out. Go coach the black and yellow. It's a perfect scenario.
Well, and there should be criticism, because all he had to do not to get that was just be humble during all that.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
That's all he had to do. Instead of saying, Google me, but now he's put an X on his back. So it's going to hurt him a lot more ways than you think. Now every coach on the recruiting circle, all the big coaches, they're going to be out to get that guy. You want to play for this freak? Do you want to like this? No, seriously. No, I'm just saying, like, they use that stuff against you. You know, you don't got Fisher now. You don't got Pons now. You don't have Surratt now. You don't. I'm seriously, like, these guys, all your core nucleus is gone. You got to build this again. And don't think guys aren't working to, like, those recruiters, they use anything they can, whether it's right or wrong. They play dirty because you're trying to get that player at the end of the day. I'm sure with Cutter Bowley, our dude, I'm sure old Plummer out there said, hey, man, you did your thing at Kentucky. Now you got to do you. Like, it's all a sales pitch. And those kids are young. And they're going to believe it. They're going to believe it.
So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Cignetti because I just see criticism coming from here on out.
I can see him going to Pittsburgh. I don't think he will just because of what he said, but I'm with you 100%. That's just what those guys say. They got to say it. I'll take up for him there in that sense. What are you supposed to say? Yeah, I'm thinking about the Pittsburgh job.
Yeah,
me and my wife are weighing it out. Like, they get mad at these coaches all the time when they say, oh, he lied. He said he wasn't interested. What are they supposed to say, dude? And then if they say that, well, I'm going to use that against recruiting on him. Hey, you don't know if that guy's going to be there. You can't say it.
I've had people commenting on my Dolphins post saying, "Oh, well, this coach said he didn't want to coach the Dolphins, or this coach said he wouldn't." I don't care what they said. I don't care what they said. That doesn't matter to me because they say what they need to say at that time. So that shit means nothing to me. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Indiana is your national champs. That's crazy to me. And college football's over.
It's over.
That fucking sucks.
Saturday.
See y'all in August.
That shit sucks.
We only got two more
we got 3 NFL games left.
Yep.
We got 3 NFL games left. Yeah, it is bittersweet. So let's before we get to the NFL, Josh says he's got a
I had
a trivia question.
Little trivia question. I stole this from the radio today.
All right, what
so
do you got?
guys didn't hear it. Since 2000, there's been 5 quarterbacks who have won the Heisman and the national championship. You should be able to get one.
Tebow.
Nope.
Is he not one of them?
Nope, because that's the one I missed.
Did he not win the Heisman?
He did, but he won the championship the next year.
Didn't they win 2 years in a row?
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
Did they not? No, that was the football team.
No, Leak.
I mean, that was the basketball team I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Leak won with him, but he didn't win the Heisman.
What year are we talking about?
From 2000 to 2025.
Is Rex Grossman one of them?
Nope.
Man,
you guys are way worse at this than I thought y'all.
I don't know. No, we can think about it.
National championship.
Vince Young
and the Heisman.
Vince Young.
He didn't.
No, Liner. Bush won that.
Bush won.
Yeah.
You said one already. You've gotten one.
Oh, who is it? Give me the one I got.
Liner.
Okay, Liner. Okay. I thought there was a guy right before Grossman.
I'm terrible at Heisman's, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's got to be somebody from Ohio State.
Nope.
No.
Let's think about it. Georgia.
I'm just bad at Heisman's. I don't remember.
There might have been more than this. I think this is.
Was it White? Was it White from Oklahoma?
No. Who's the quarterback at Alabama?
Joe Burrow.
Okay, that makes sense.
We should have got that. That was stupid.
We could have came up with that one time.
One played last night.
Mendoza. Okay.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, I thought about saying Cam.
And then Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm with you on the
Definitely should have got
Charlie.
Burrow.
I'm with you on the Heisman thing. I don't know the Heisman's like I thought I did. Because I wasn't sure if Cam Newton won it. I wasn't sure if Winston won it. I'm not very good on the Heisman either.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah, I have to check on Jason White. He may have won it and the title.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Didn't Oklahoma? Maybe was that like 99 or something?
Hey, we may have to cut this out. But I know those 5 are correct.
We've had to do that before.
Yeah, maybe White was like 99 or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like Oklahoma.
Did Tebow win the Heisman, right?
Yeah, but it might have been separate years, like you said. I'm sure them guys got it right. They probably did their research, but we look it up.
It was just this goofy dude on the radio. He's not very credible.
It wasn't Bobby Bones, was it?
No, it wasn't Bobby Bones. I'm not even going to say
Bobby
his name.
Bones won the damn Powerball, didn't he?
What?
Bobby Bones?
I think that was a lie.
Was that fake?
I don't know.
Somebody told me that Bobby Bones was the one that won the fucking Powerball. Dude, look it up. Somebody.
I heard that too, and I thought I heard it was fake, but maybe it ain't.
Was it fake? Maybe.
Bobby Bones did not win the Powerball,
all right.
despite rumors and a joke he made circulate.
Okay.
I like the guy in Louisville. He went down to, I think, Atlanta for a year or two. What's his name? We like him. He's an old country dude in the morning. He's on the country station. What's
I don't
his
listen
name?
to country stations.
Charlie, we got to introduce you, man. We got to introduce you. Yes.
Chris
yeah.
Stapleton's the only country that I need.
Man, you would like it.
And
Charlie.
I don't even consider that country.
You
It's
would
halfway
love-
like some
I'm
soft rock or
surprised.
some shit.
I'm surprised.
All right.
All right.
NFL.
Yep. 4 games last weekend. Started with the Bills and the Broncos. I mean, that was the best game of the weekend, right?
I think I enjoyed the Rams Bears more.
Rams and Bears was
That was
good.
wild.
But there was some wild
Both of them
shit.
OT.
Yeah, wild shit going on in this Bills Broncos game. 4 turnovers or something from Josh Allen.
Did Josh Allen have that many turnovers?
Yeah.
Yes, he
did.
I did not realize
His
that.
playoff-
Oh, the fumbles. He had the fumbles. He had the fumbles.
Two boneheaded fumbles, couple picks. I think his playoff record now is 0-6 or 0-7.
I've never seen him play it bad in the playoffs. I thought his other performances weren't that bad, but he choked it the other night.
See, I would say the other ones were more chokes. I think this was just a terrible performance. Just one of them games that was just really bad, but they were still in it. I mean, they gave themselves a chance.
He's the only reason they're there. I'm not taking up for him in that
Oh,
sense.
they are.
Because
That's
doubt.
it. He's all they got.
Look,
I mean, they got James Cook at running back, but
it does become a thing when you're 0-6, maybe 0-7 these playoffs, dude, that it's going to become something. But I agree 100%. McDermott gets fired after this game. Ridiculous. McDermott's one of the best coaches out there. For them to fire him, I think that is freaking nuts. Fire the GM, already noted multiple times, worst rush defense in the country or in the NFL this year. And who is the best wide receiver that he's ever had?
Well, they drafted
Stephon Diggs, right?
Diggs?
They drafted pretty good on defense last year. They got Dion, which a lot of people said he was the steal of the draft of all NFL.
He hasn't had enough weapons. A guy like that, you need to get him some receivers. How long has he been in there now? 7 years?
Yeah,
I think the offensive line's pretty good.
It's okay.
They're running.
I'm not talking about protecting him. I'm talking about getting him some weapons.
He's always had a decent tight end.
Getting him some weapons. Stephon Diggs should not be the best receiver that Josh Allen's ever had in his career. Diggs is fine, but he ain't. He's barely a number 1 receiver. I would argue he's a number 2 receiver.
They drafted
whatever.
They drafted Coleman pretty high.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's
they need to get the guy somebody, man.
You know, Brady came in last year and saved them. Remember, nobody was running the ball in Buffalo, and he came in and he started running the ball, and that really helped out their offense a lot. Get them more balanced and just opened up some opportunities for Josh. But yeah, I'm with you. I like to see him get some talent for him too. I'd be anxious. I know you said it earlier, Charlie. I wouldn't be surprised. Joe Brady is very highly thought of around Buffalo. Are they going to get Brady as the coach? Because I don't think they would want to lose Brady. Very rarely do you keep offensive defensive coordinators. You could see
McDermott and Brady both go. They might end up in Pittsburgh.
How often do you see that where like a new coach comes in and he keeps one of the offense and defensive coordinators in the NFL?
I would say it's fairly rare.
Yeah. It has happened, but yeah, I'm with you.
I would say for Brady, it would be maybe he's the next Bills head coach, or I could see
Brady's going to be a head coach.
I could see McDermott ending up in Pittsburgh or possibly Baltimore. I would hate that if he goes to Baltimore, but if Pittsburgh's not going to go get Cignetti, I think McDermott would be a great coach for Pittsburgh. And maybe he takes Brady with him.
I like McDermott a lot, and I would hire him, but I'm not sold that he's a great coach.
So, I like him.
Yeah, I do too.
I'd take him.
We can't skip the part where there was about 15 questionable calls in the end of this game, whether you want to call them right, wrong, whatever. So much shit happened at the end of this game. You had the catch that wasn't a catch, that was an interception that barely got reviewed. They said they reviewed it, but they didn't take enough time. I'm not saying the call was right or wrong, but I think it was way too close to just get brushed off like they kind of did. Late in the game, you had a pass interference down the sideline that they let go, which whatever. And then 2 plays later, kind of the same exact play, and then they call it. And then like 2 plays later, they call another one. And they're all very similar. You let one go, then you call 2 of them that basically.
That's why you got to call the game. That's why you got to call the game tighter. Because if you don't call it tight and we're allowing that to go on, I'm not taking up for the officials, but there's just a huge gray area for them. Like, well, they don't want me calling everything because that's, it kills the points. But if you do that, then they got to make that call right there on the spot. And they can't pick up a flag later. That's not a good look.
You're just going to have to call it by the letter of the law.
But
no matter if it's the first second of the game or the last second of the game.
They need to call that
just
tighter.
Call it.
They need to call it tighter.
I was waiting for I know I texted y'all a couple times, but I was waiting for the same thing to happen last night. It didn't happen. It didn't happen because it wasn't really an opportunity, but they let 4 or 5 that could have been pass interference in that fourth quarter alone last night in the national championship.
A lot of risk.
There was a lot of them that could have been called.
There were some guys getting hooks.
There was some hand wrestling. They was letting them go, and I kept texting y'all saying, just waiting for the last possession of the game. There's the pass interference on the same fucking calls that we've been seeing, and that's what I felt like in this Buffalo game. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but be consistent. Train these refs to be more consistent. However you do that, you got to do it.
I think they train them. I just think it's what they tell them to do, because I think it comes out they want points, but then this is what's come about it. So they're maybe have to relook at things in the offseason, because they're smart people. They're going to see this as a problem, and the only way you fix this is just to call it tighter. Do you think that had anything to do with why they didn't call it, because of all the stuff that happened? I know it was NFL versus college, but they seen it and they heard
last night.
Yeah, do you think that had anything to do with it?
Maybe.
But the only thing in college, the penalty's not as big. The NFL penalty, I almost think it's too severe. But I'll say this:
it should be 15 yards.
That's the only rule the NFL probably needs to adopt.
Yards.
I know that sounds crazy.
Maybe 20.
Because
maybe 20.
This is the thing, though. The guys in the NFL are so good. If they're beat, they'll just grab them.
So maybe go half. Maybe go half.
Maybe
it's a 40-yard pass, you get a 20-yard penalty.
Yeah.
It's a 50-yard pass, it's a 25-yard. Dude, there should never be a 50-yard penalty.
The only thing is,
there should never be a 50-yard penalty.
I'm with you, but them NFL guys, I'm with you. But them NFL, okay, I talked to a guy about this, Katie's dad. Here's the answer, in my opinion.
Katie, shout out.
No. I told him this. I'd come up with it on the spot, and just like in basketball, you have flagrant fouls and non-flagrant fouls. Flagrant pass interference, or whatever you want to call it, non-flagrant, meaning that if you're beat and you just grab the guy because you're beat, that's flagrant. Where if it's just a nice, good pass interference, I think that's the only way to fix that. Or not unless we do something like we just talked about, where you do half the distance. But I like the flagrant versus the non-flagrant. And I know it puts some judgmental thing in it.
Yeah, it's so hard to judge intent. You know?
It is, but that's what's an official's for.
Every call is a judgment call, basically. Unless they're just holding like this.
The only one I want it to be spot a foul is if the guy just purposely knows he's beat or something. Because if a guy was smart in college and his guy starting to beat him, he would just grab him. There's a lot of times that happens, and that is the smart play. It's only 15 yards instead of a 70-yard touchdown.
So, there was a lot of shit that happened. I don't like the way that game ended with some of the calls, but Buffalo, too sloppy. You're not going to turn the ball over 4 or 5 times and win many games on the road against the number 1 seed.
Do y'all think that Josh Allen feels like he gets the weight of the city on his back?
Yeah.
Because some guys, I've always said, like, sometimes I think you're better off, like in college basketball, have somebody that's not connected to the university or don't have a long-standing love for them, or is not like kind of the NIL player that jumps ship every year. He's kind of the guy you want the line because he's probably not emotionally invested. But you imagine if one of us got up on the line on a UK game to win a national title, I mean, our nerves would be bad. Do you think Josh has got so connected and so invested in Buffalo that, it's messing with his nerves? Sometimes a person that cares is the person that shows the most emotion because he does care.
If you didn't have nobody to throw it to, you'd be upset all the time too.
Yeah.
He does. He cares. He cares.
He is invested. And I think that, I don't know if that helps or hurts him, but he definitely cares about that city and about those fans. And I mean, I'd love for my quarterback to feel like that.
No shit.
You know, for a guy to be there that long and be that successful, it's kind of what you want. He may be putting a little too much pressure on himself, but I'd rather have him putting too much pressure on himself and just having the heart that he does.
Well, I just think Josh is that kind of guy too. And then there's some guys that are cool, calm, like they just operate a lot different in life, but I get emotional sometimes playing or competing, whatever I'm doing. And, it's probably not a good thing when you're in situations like that.
So the Broncos move on. And then after the game, nobody even had a clue. And Bo Nix, 10 minutes after the game, I thought it was fake. I thought it was fake news. I think most people thought it was fake.
Quickest x-ray I've ever seen come back. I wish we got our x-rays back that quick.
Bo Nix out for the year. Broken ankle. If you look back at the play, it was the like second or third to last play, and they snap the ball, and Bo Nix just runs to the left, loses like 3 yards. It was a pointless play. I don't know even why they did that, because on the next play, he threw the ball downfield. So I don't even know why they did that, but he got hurt on that play, and now he's out for the year. I hate that. Sucks for the Broncos, but I do think that Stidham can come in and manage the offense. The Broncos don't do a lot on offense anyways, and they're a more of a manage it, rely on your defense type of team. And I think he can do that. And he's facing New England, and that's the team that drafted him.
Can he run it all? Because that's one thing I do like about Bo is that he can use his legs.
I'm not even sure.
I think in today's NFL.
Where the hell does Stidham go to?
Auburn.
I know he's got a haircut. He's got a mullet with like a perm in it.
I think he can run a little bit.
He's been in the league for, 4 or 5 years, I think. He might be looking for a little bit of revenge. And how sweet would that be to come in after not even being the starter the whole year? Not even really. Did he even start any games this year? Bo Nix did he get?
No, he started the whole year.
Yeah, I don't think he get hurt or anything.
No.
How sweet would that be if he came in and actually got that win and got his team to the Super Bowl? Then he's the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl. So it would be pretty cool. Good little story there for Stidham if he can get it done.
He's got a cool haircut. It's like a mullet with a bunch of curls in it. He's got an 80s haircut.
Nice.
So.
All right, the next game was Saturday night, Seattle versus San Francisco. Opening kickoff, return to the house, 7-0. It was 17-0 after the first quarter. Game was basically over. I didn't watch much after. I didn't really watch much. I don't even know if I finished the first quarter. The game was over pretty early. Did y'all watch much of this?
I saw the opening kickoff return, and that place erupted. And then I watched the 49ers do a quick 3 and out, and I'm like, they are not moving the ball on this team. They're too injured. I'm going to play cards with the wife. So it was kind of on in the background. I score watched, and I can't tell you anything that happened after the kickoff return.
Just ass whooping. It was 41-6. So San Francisco, I think their time was up. Too many injuries, too beat up, on a little bit of short rest on the road against probably the best team in the NFL. Yeah, their time was up.
I finally got on the right side of the 49ers. I'm ashamed to say I had
the losing side, baby.
I had 49ers against Seattle that first go around, and I thought Seattle dominated that game. I finally got on the right side. I had them pretty good. That kind of saved me. I lost this weekend, but that saved me because that was probably one of my bigger bets, and that actually won.
So, yeah, not much to talk about in that game except the fact that Seattle moves on. They're going to get a home game next week. All right, Sunday, New England versus Houston. The weather was pretty messed up, right? Was it snowing? Kind of switched off a little bit. Yeah. It was cold as hell, and we got to see the same C.J. Stroud that we sat here while we were recording last week watching them play Pittsburgh. I mean, it was almost like a repeat, just a total disaster, turning the ball over left and right. I was actually at one of my son's basketball games for the first half, so I didn't actually see all the mistakes, but I was keeping up with my text and the score, and it was ugly.
They were just bad.
How bad is he?
I don't think he's that bad, but
it was a sloppy game, I think, all the way around.
I feel like New England was caught whatever, but their turnovers weren't killers. They were like at midfield to 40. It seemed like C.J. Stroud's were either pick sixes or Houston was going to score. I feel like a couple times they were going to score. One time they were backed up. One time it was a pick six. Not only were they turnovers, they were killer turnovers. I could even argue to say Houston not outplayed them, but like it was like the worst times, and it seems like New England's happened at the best times. New England recovered 2 of their fumbles. How many was there? A total 4 or 5 they had?
4, yep.
It was just a messy game. It was a very nasty game, the weather was.
I mean, CJ, the only word I can describe him as a quarterback is the last 2 weeks is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He is not comfortable playing quarterback. I mean, he
I know
was
he was missing Nico, but
Nico is a big miss. But
that wasn't going to fix what we saw.
It was hard to watch.
He just got to be able to take a sack. The offensive line's not that good. He's got to be able to just eat that sack. That's when he makes that mistake, is when he's get the pressure. He tries to make too much happen. One of them did bounce off a receiver's hands, but still, that's too many. That's just way too many. And look, the offensive line needs to be fixed in Houston. But sometimes you just got to take that sack. It's better than doing what you did. Them guys in the NFL, if you try to just throw it up, they're going to get it, dude. This ain't college.
Oh, he was throwing them up all right. He threw up on himself.
Yeah, I don't think Nico was fixing that shit.
I mean,
I know it was sloppy. It was sloppy all the way around.
It was a
What
bad
did we
weather
say?
game.
8 or 9
It was a
turnovers
bad
total
weather
in
game.
that game.
It looked nasty.
New England's defense held tough. They made CJ Stroud look like dog shit, and I think they only rushed for 40 or 50 yards. So New England,
it was an ugly game.
yeah, New England moves on, and we get the 1 and the 2 seed in the AFC, New England and Denver. The last game on Sunday was the Rams and the Bears, and this one was a wild one too.
Another weather game.
Let's just go straight to it. That pass, that last touchdown. What did y'all think about that last touchdown?
Oh, I was sick. I
The
needed
shit was ridiculous.
Rams action. It was ridiculous. It just was. When it went up, Charlie, I thought there's no way the whole team won't be there to deflect that. He's back about midfield or wherever he was.
He ran backwards 20 yards.
Yeah, and he just lobbed it up. I thought there's no way, and then he gets there and there's nobody on him, and the guy just watching him. It's like, dude,
how you get one-on-one after running backwards 20 freaking yards?
and the guy don't even try. Like, listen, I don't think that was set up because I think these games are too big to be set up. But if I didn't believe that, then I definitely would have, because it's like, dude, what are you doing?
That was my first thought. My first initial thought was, what did I just see? That dude is cheating. Now, I'm not saying he is, whatever, but that was my initial thought. What the fuck did I just watch?
That ball went off his back foot. Collinsworth said it the best. He said he threw a fadeaway Hail Mary.
It was ridiculous.
That was not a good throw. It's just
No.
throwing out, giving his guy a chance, but there should have been many other guys jumping with you.
Dude jumped backwards and threw it 51 yards in the air. That's unbelievable.
It was a good throw to get it there, but it was pure luck.
Yes, yes.
I'll be honest.
Great athleticism to be able to do what he did, for sure, but it was pure luck.
Yeah, yes,
and I'm with you. I don't understand how it was only 2 guys there. One offensive, one defensive guy. That's it. Where the fuck is everybody else at?
I feel like when the ball was on its way, you couldn't see it. And then when it first started coming in the screen, I seen that there wasn't nobody on him. I thought, oh, this is out of the end zone. Like, because just the way the guy was thinking, I'm like, oh, this is out of the end zone. Even like,
that's what I thought. I said, he just threw this thing
it.
60 yards out of the end zone off his back foot, and then the dude standing there freaking catches it. Unbelievable.
It was
Unbelievable.
one of the more improbable touchdown passes that I can remember ever.
and
Seriously.
And I'm with you, Charlie. That was total luck. But I think every other piece of luck went to the Rams. And I wanted the Rams to win. I thought Chicago outplayed them. I
thought they did too.
I thought they outplayed them.
Especially late in the game. You know, you had that call it the Caleb Williams magic late in the game. And, he finally.
He only ran the ball. One of them was a quarterback push. But out of the last 38 plays, I counted them. That was second half plays, 38, including overtime. He only ran the ball twice. One for like 6 yards, 7 yards, first down. The other one for like 30 yards. The other one was a tush push.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have a guy with those kind of legs? I mean, you've seen what he did to the defenders when he was out in open space with them. They couldn't handle him. How do you not use that more, especially down by the goal line?
It's the same thing Lamar did a few years ago. He thinks he's John Elway, dude. He thinks he can stand back there and make all the throws. He needs to understand what his game is. I agree. He needs to use his legs.
He should have. I seen a breakdown of that play where he throws the interception in overtime. He had 2 lanes to run.
But
I
will say this though. I thought that was Caleb's fault at very first. I did, and I was kind of.
I did too.
Hey, dude, that should have been a completion. He had open space. That's an NFL completion all day long. I don't know what Moore did.
Caleb said what he did in the press conference or in the interview. I think he was very professional about the way he did it, but because he did kind of say it was a miscommunication. He didn't put it on his guy, but he kind of did.
Yeah.
It was basically he was supposed to cut the route across the field, and he stayed deep on that post. Now, you said you thought he kind of slowed down.
He jogged.
And he might have, but there was a huge opening.
And the ball was in the air. Even if you didn't do your job right, ball's in the air.
Become a defender. Become a defender.
Take off, run.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because if they catch that ball there, I don't remember what part of overtime that was in or whatever. If they would have been in the easy field goal range, if they would have kicked the field goal at that point, would that have been game at that point? Do y'all remember?
Yeah, that game would have been over if they would have scored because the Rams got the ball first.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. From what I've seen, I'll put that on DJ Moore.
Well, what about this too? Going back to the Rams' first possession in overtime, you got the league, most likely MVP, and you run the ball 3 times on your first 3 plays in overtime. Dude, what are you doing, McVay?
They're trying to take pressure off from him, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the weather was shit, But I mean, he was knifing through that wind all day. That's Matt freaking Stafford.
And you made a good point. Once they punted and they were on defense, it's like, dude, they might lose this game without the MVP even getting to throw a pass. And they had the ball. They had the ball.
Yeah, it's
So
not like years ago.
I do think it was like a 3rd and 1 and they ended up running and getting stuff. But still, like, I kind of agree there. You know, maybe not on 3rd and 1. Maybe you do it on 2nd down or something. But it would have sucked if Chicago ends up scoring and ending that game and Stafford was on the field in overtime and didn't get to throw a pass. That would have sucked.
If he don't throw the interception there, whether whoever's fault that was, I think Chicago gets that field goal. I think Rams were done. When Caleb gets late in the game, it seems like, I don't know if guys get tired or what, but he just seems like he's almost unstoppable at the end. And he had that look to him, dude. I've seen it against the Packers. He just gets to where, like, I don't know if it's his stamina. I don't know what it is.
I've seen it. Him and Bo Nix both.
Dude, it's like they can't keep up with him at the end. And I've seen the same look from the Rams. That play was there. So that was a big break for the Rams. You know, Rams were having a lot of trouble. The announcer talked about it, how the Bears defense was starting to get healthy because they actually were supposed to have a decent defense.
They covered the best I've seen them cover in any game I've watched them this year. The Bears did.
Yeah.
Their DBs look like all pros.
Rams, I don't think have a lot of receivers get separation. Puka's a possession guy. I know he gets some separation, but he's not I love him. I think he's the best in the game, but he's just, you know, he's kind of a guy that's tough, make the catch for you, but they don't have like a lot of just elite speed out there. But dude, they were getting pressure on Stafford. If I was playing Stafford and if I was Seattle defensive coordinator, and I'm sure McVay would be anticipating this, but he's going to get pressure because I don't think Stafford liked that pressure. And I'm a huge Stafford guy, but I do not think like Stafford liked that pressure. Now, was that the weather or was that a combination of both? But I would not let Stafford sit back in the pocket. I don't even care if I got beat because if you let a guy like Stafford sit back in the pocket, he's going to beat you.
Did y'all see the video of Stafford walking out on the field in overtime and he's got the cape jacket on and he's walking out? I have to send it to you guys. Stafford's walking onto the field and he's got his jacket on and he just does this shoulder shrug and the equipment guy's walking by and he just catches the jacket off his shoulder as he's walking. I mean, it was fucking smooth. He just comes walking by and he just does like this and just kind of shakes his jacket off and the equipment guy he's got two
That's his
jackets.
one job. Just catch the jacket. Whenever he shrugs his fucking shoulders,
it's like
you better
Superman
catch
taking off his cape.
Don't let the jacket hit the ground.
Right, dude. And he doesn't let it's great.
Do you think that's
fired
playing?
if you let it hit the ground?
Something like that?
I don't know. It's fucking smooth as hell, though.
Some of them guys, I hope it's not because I don't think Stafford's that kind of guy. But some of those guys, I think they play for the camera.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was neat as shit. I have to find it for you guys. But, yeah, and then that throw he made to Devontae Adams in overtime, him stepping up, hitting, I mean, even a better catch.
He's the only quarterback in the world that can make that throw besides Fernando Mendoza.
That's right. He had a rough game. That wasn't Stafford's best game. That wasn't Stafford's best
Rams
game.
win 2017 in overtime.
So we get the Rams and the Seahawks for a 3rd time. Been 2 barn burner of games already this year, and I don't expect anything different in this one.
Real quick question. Ben Johnson went forward got stopped on 4th down. 4 times if you count the end. 4 times on 4th down he got stopped. I know it sounds crazy. Was the Bears the best team in the NFL?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance, and I thought that was crazy even going into that night. Dude, they were getting healthy on defense. I don't know if anybody can stop that offense, dude.
Their defense has not been good this year, dude.
But they were
good yesterday.
Yeah, but they're getting healthy. They're getting healthy. They had a lot of guys out.
Their defense has not been good
I
this
know,
year.
but you're getting healthy, yo.
I really enjoyed watching the Bears play.
They beat the Packers twice.
The Bears, watch out for them because they were a year ahead of schedule this year anyways. It's awesome that they got to the point that they did, and they could have easily won, and they could be playing in the NFC Championship, but I still think they're a year ahead of schedule. They're going to be great for the next few years.
I think they
got their coach. They got quarterback, whatever. He's good, but, you know.
First year with Ben Johnson, too, right?
Yeah.
I think they flat out. Listen, Rams won. I'm glad they won.
How about give Josh Allen some weapons like this guy's got? Because he's got freaking weapons everywhere all around the damn field.
I think it's a complete. I think it's a complete team. You know, the Bears had questions at offensive line going into this year. I remember that. Remember reading on them and stuff. And you know, I don't know how their offensive line is, but he decided to go with wide receivers, and usually that's a recipe for disaster. But is Caleb Williams' legs allow him to get out of that stuff. How good is Caleb Williams? I'm starting to wonder, dude. I think the guy's really good.
I like him.
Their offensive line was great because they were one of the best, if not the number one rushing offense in the league.
Yeah, they had a good running game.
Bears.
They had a good running game.
I think there was questions at the beginning.
There was questions at the beginning. I don't know.
I know last year their offensive line was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
It wasn't terrible this year. Maybe on the pass protection, but running wise, I want to say they were.
No, they were a good
I
running
want to
team.
say they were the number one rush offense.
Going into the year, their defense was supposed to be really good, and they just had some big injuries on defense. And it's hard for me to keep up with the NFL injuries, but I guess they were getting healthy at the end of the year the way the announcer was talking.
I mean, they started 0-2. The Bears did. I mean, they lost to the Vikings, and then their
that was
second week
James'
game.
best game. I remember that. I had the Bears in that game.
And then and then their next week they got blown out by the Lions by 30.
Let me tell you a game I lost this year. It cost me. New England. I had New England against the Raiders and lost.
Oh,
First week or second week of the year.
I think that was week 2.
Yeah.
Did New England start 0-2?
They might have.
They might have started 0-2 as well.
I know I had that loss to the Raiders.
All right, so 2 games this weekend. Conference championship weekend. New England at Denver. Denver gets the home field advantage. They are the 1 seed, but they are without Bo Nix.
I hate that.
I know, I do too. I like watching top-notch football, and I don't know if we're going to get top-notch football, but I do have faith that Stidham is going to be able to come in and at least manage this offense. Sean Payton will have him ready. It's not like he's a second-year guy. I think he's been in the league 5 or 6 years, and I know this doesn't really matter, but maybe it does mentally. He was drafted by the Patriots, and now he's facing the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe it gives him a little extra motivation, and it would be a hell of a story if he can beat his former team and make it to the Super Bowl after not starting any games this year.
I look for it to be a low-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
No,
I mean, like 19-13 or 19-16.
You're not going to go out there and air it out with this guy, I don't think. And New England has a really good run defense. At first I really thought Denver would be a team that could play tough in this game, and they still might be able to. It's really a hard read. But being that New England has such a good run defense, I think the guy's going to have to be able to make some passes to beat them, or they're just going to have to shut down Drake May. And I'm sure that's what they're going to try to do. I'm sure the game plan is going to be to grind one out. So that's the only way you can game plan in this situation, right?
Yep. That Sean Payton's going to just try to get Stidham to not make any mistakes. I mean, that's the only way to go about this game. You got a great defense. You're at home. They're going to try to manage the game as well as they can. And I think he steps up in this game. I don't know if they win. I know we're about to make our picks. I don't even know where I'm going with it. It's a 5-point spread. I think that's way too much for Denver at home, number 1 seed. I know they lost Bo Nix. I know everybody's probably overreacting. I overreacted as soon as the news came out. I said, this is going to be a terrible game. Stidham sucks, but kind of looked into the situation. I don't think it's as bad as what I thought initially. So I'm looking for a good game here.
I got a stat for you. Drake May in the playoffs, 2 interceptions, 5 fumbles, 2 lost. So he's not playing real clean football.
How many was in that Houston game?
Did he have 3 in the Houston game, but lost 1?
Yeah.
And he had 1 interception.
Yeah, he's going to have to take care of the ball. Denver's defense will try to get after him too.
Houston in that weather, that would have been a hard way to play offense against Houston. Houston's defense is so good. I kind of feel bad for their defense that day because they kind of did keep answering the bell, but you can only answer the bell so many times when your quarterback's on pick 6 and in your own territory.
And it's at Denver. So Stidham doesn't have to go into a hostile environment. He's got the crowd behind him. The weather's not going to be bad. I just looked it up. It's going to be sunny and in the 30s. So we're not looking at, some type of rain, snow, sleet, something like that. So a clean field, just cold. Let's see what he can do.
I think bad weather would benefit the Broncos a lot.
Maybe.
Yeah, with that defense and, they need to run the ball, need to grind one out.
New England ain't scared of no bad weather.
No, but I'm just saying, with them.
They just won a game against the best defense in the NFL in bad weather.
Yeah,
so.
but you imagine if your quarterback's, a guy like Drake May that can really pass the ball, and you're going up against a backup quarterback that they probably don't want to air it out that much and grind one out. I think bad weather would benefit Denver a lot in that game, but they're not going to get it, right, Josh?
That's right.
And Drake May ain't going to be able to air it out too much against Denver. Denver's backside
No,
of their
they're gonna be
defense is
balanced.
strong. Look, I would have never thought that I was going to do this, but I'm going to take the Broncos. You hear that, Dennis Carnes? I'm taking the Broncos and Stidham. What's his first name?
I don't even know.
Jason?
No.
No, it's Jason Statham is the action hero that does movies. It's Jason Statham.
Jason, not Jason Statham. Jared Stidham. Isn't that his name? Jared. I think
so,
it's Jared Stidham.
Yeah, Jared.
I'm going with Stidham. Give me the home team. I actually really like the Patriots, and I probably think that they're going to win this game, but it's on the road. I do think Drake May is going to have some problems here against this defense. And like Josh noted, he has been a little bit sloppy with the ball. So I'm taking Denver. Jared Stidham is going to be starting in the Super Bowl here in 2 weeks.
Go ahead, Anthony, because I got a little story.
I got to pull a certain way. I haven't exacted ticket. It's actually no winner. It's just the matchup. I didn't do the winner. You know, they offered a bunch of different ways.
Rams, Broncos.
Hey, it's a nice ticket. I think it's probably a long shot at this. Not a long shot, but it's going to take some happening here. But that was I got the ticket and I got some action on little action, not a lot, on both of them. It was nothing like my Rams last year, but I need it because I haven't hit none of my other futures. And I had going into the Final Four, I had everybody but Indiana, so they got me. So I'm going Broncos. I'm going Broncos.
You going Broncos?
Yeah,
too?
I'm not. Hey, listen, New England's going to be a tough beat, especially with that Bo Nix. I really like the way New England's playing. But, dude, that was my 2 Super Bowl teams. I got to stick with them.
I can't believe I picked Denver, but I just got a feeling. A feeling.
All right, guys, real quick. Me and a group of buddies have this running joke that these chains right here are bad luck. Okay? My brother Travis has bought Seahawks ones, Colts ones, Chiefs ones, Kentucky ones, and every time he has worn one of those chains, the team has lost wherever we've been. All right, we've been in freaking Nashville, BW3.
Get rid of them.
Okay, yes, exactly, and that's what we told him. All right, so we watched the Denver game. My buddy Denny, me and him are undefeated when the Broncos play at the BW3s by our house.
Are y'all going back this week?
The weather pending. All right, we are planning on going back, but here's.
If I was Denny, I'd go grab your ass. You're going.
Yeah, I'm going. But here's a funny story. The Bo Nix ankle break may be his fault, okay? So we're at BW3s, and there's a guy, not with us, just a random guy, comes over to Denny, and he's shaking his Broncos chain. And Denny goes, that's the worst luck ever. Well, you cannot do that. Those chains are cursed around me.
I believe in that shit.
They end up winning. As soon as the game ends, you know what Denny did on Amazon?
He put it on, didn't he?
He bought one.
He bought one?
He bought one. By the time he gets home, Bo Nix has broken his ankle.
That shit's real, dude. That shit's real.
Hey, Dennis. Hey, Dennis. Hey, just for that story, I'm taking the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots.
Hey,
give me the Patriots.
Time out. He canceled the order.
Guy, give me Denver. Give me Denver. Give me the Broncos. I'm back on.
He canceled the order.
I'm back on.
He canceled the order. That is a true story, y'all. He orders it. He gets home. Bo Nix has a broken ankle. Dude,
I'm back on Denver, Danny.
Tell me these things ain't cursed.
That's funny. That's funny as shit.
Maybe Stidham's the next
if
time.
If this wasn't here, does Miami win?
I don't know. Maybe when did we wear it? When did we wear it? Did Miami win?
I wore it during the Miami Notre Dame game.
Back when I used to coach girls softball, I had some lucky underwear, lucky shirt. Hey, there was one little setup. I didn't lose for a while in it, son, and I saved it for big occasions, and I finally lost one in it. But I rolled it out a lot of big games when we were underdogs, and we still won.
But if I make it, I'm taking the Broncos.
Whoa!
Rain, snow, sleet. I'm going to try to make it. Me and Denny going to try to be 3-0.
Welcome to the Mile High Club.
Clean sweep.
The Mile High Club.
On the Broncos.
The Patriots have had the easiest schedule in the history of the NFL.
They really have.
Their combined record is like 85 and 150 or something of their opponents. The Broncos are going to get them.
I can't believe we're all on Denver here.
The Mile High Club.
Bo Nix gets hurt, and we are all three sweeping on the Broncos. Did we just jinx the Broncos?
Mile High Club, baby.
No
I don't know.
Here.
If I was a big Bronco, I do like the Broncos a lot. I just think they got a good team. I love defensive teams, offensive line teams like Bo Nix. But if I was a Broncos fan, I definitely would have like a Mile High Club shirt or something like that. The Mile High Club.
All right, game of the week. The Rams at the Seahawks. The third matchup of the year.
Caw-caw.
That's a Raven.
He loves the Ravens.
Both
They're out.
I know rats. Oh, Josh.
Yeah,
Josh
out,
loves the
dude.
Ravens.
L's
He
up,
does.
baby. L's up.
Both of the previous games this year have been great games, and I'm sure this is going to be a good one too. Josh, you were in charge again. What do we got here? Just before you even say, it looks like one of the best ones we've had so far. We got cake and ice cream. So what do we got?
We try to provide knowledge here, like state history, state foods, all that. California's official dessert is ice cream.
Is it really?
Yes,
That's awesome.
The official dessert is ice cream, and the number one flavor. I just went with the number one flavor. I just googled up number one flavor in California, and it is Rocky Road, which is chocolate, marshmallow, and almonds. And then the official dessert of Seattle, or the state of Washington, is carrot cake. So we have a combination here. A little bit of carrot cake.
That's their state dessert.
State dessert is carrot cake.
I love carrot cake too. Y'all like carrot cake?
I love it.
I love carrot cake. Y'all like Rocky Road?
Yes, I do.
Me too.
I love anything that's sweet.
We are just eating it.
So the ice cream is California.
Yes.
All right. The ice cream California and the Seahawks are eating carrot cake. Look, Seattle, I've been saying it the last few weeks, been kind of shifting towards Seattle being the best team. It's almost like I don't want to admit it because I like the Rams better. But Seattle, I think, has been the best team in the NFL, at least for the last month or so, and maybe even for the whole season. I just don't want to admit it. And I have halfway admitted it. And then I kind of pulled back a little bit, back to the Rams. My heart wants me to take the Rams. The food's like a toss-up.
Follow your heart. Follow your heart.
The food's a toss-up.
Well, for me, the food's real simple.
The Rocky Road's awesome.
It is.
Carrot cake's awesome.
Matthew Stafford for me, boys. Puka Nakua. That's my favorite combo in sports. I'm a big Stafford guy. I'm a big Puka guy. I'm a big McVay guy. I'm a big Jared Verse guy. I'm a big Fisk guy.
Are you a big Rocky Road ice cream guy?
I love both. I love both. I like, dude, this ain't a fair thing for me.
If
The food's a tie.
I'm thinking about
if
just trying to
this
go.
game is as good as this combination,
No,
it's going to be the greatest football game of all time.
Let me
I
tell you
agree.
what I was thinking about doing just now. Like
I agree.
saying, like, I got to go use the restroom and going upstairs and getting into more ice cream. So that's already went through my mind.
Yeah, the food, it's almost a tie to me because both of these are so good. Usually I just take like a couple bites of whatever our snack. I'm eating all this shit.
It's
I'm eating all this. I'm Anthony's right. Go with your heart. I don't have no money or no bets on Seattle. Give me the Rams,
That's
baby.
who we're pulling for.
Give me the Rams. Matt
baby,
Stafford.
The Rams. Hell with Seattle.
Give me look, I think I actually said this maybe a few weeks ago or a month ago that if we ever got to this spot, I don't know if I could trust Sam Darnold in a game like this over a guy like a Matt Stafford. And that's where I'm at with it. I can't put my money or my pick on Sam Darnold.
I think that 49ers were just a bad matchup for Seattle. 49ers were frauds, dude. They beat a Philly team that was having all kinds of issues. They're playing the Rams, baby. Jared Verse, Fisk.
I think they're on a mission.
They are. Look, they split the games in the regular season. Both of them were super close games. I anticipate another super close game, but I'm going to say the Rams pull it out.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm the new guy here to Blitz the Bookie. I know you're pro Rams, and I've been riding Rams with y'all all year.
Ride them again, damn it.
His Travis has been cussing him out all year. Trav, that is not a Seahawk. He is yelling Ravens at you every time he does that.
That's how Trev makes the sound. I'm just copying my brother. But I think at home, I love the home field. I'm going with both home teams this week. I haven't liked the way the Rams have looked the last few weeks. They didn't look great against Carolina. I didn't think they looked great all the time last week against the Bears, who I thought they were a way better team than that. But I'm going to go against my two co-hosts here, and I'm going to say Seahawks at home. This is the Super Bowl. I mean, we just had literally a Super Bowl of a dessert. We
This is a fucking Super Bowl right here.
But do you guys agree? Do y'all think this is the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I don't say it for sure, but I definitely think these are the two best teams. I think you get anybody in a one-game situation, they're not that much difference.
Right.
The other team can win. But for me, Williams with his legs was able to get away from the pass rush of the Rams. That's what they do so well. Darnold ain't getting away from the pass rush, baby. Burst, Fisk, all the boys, they're going to get after him. They're going to put a hurting on Darnold. They might put him into retirement.
They may.
I love Burst. I love
two
Burst.
Rams and a Seahawk.
2 Rams and a Seahawk. Guys, appreciate everybody listening. As always, continue to support on all the social media, TikTok, Facebook. Make sure you follow, check out the content, get on YouTube, subscribe to the Blitz the Bookie YouTube page. And next week when we get back here, we'll be talking about a Super Bowl matchup. So bittersweet, but hey, Super Bowl's always fun. Guys, y'all got anything else?
I know if the Rams win, that went all their games on the road in the playoffs against Carolina, against the Bears, and then against Seattle. So
Rams ain't scared of the road. They'll even go on the road in the snow and whoop your ass.
That's right. Y'all remember that song back in the 80s, Jim McMahon and Peyton? We ain't here for no trouble. We just here for the Super Bowl shuffle.
The Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all listening. We'll catch you next week. Blitz the Bookie.
See you guys.
So, yeah. Bud Bowl, baby. Bring back the Bud Bowl.
Bring back the Bud Bowl.
I remember that as a kid. Do y'all remember the Bud Bowl?
Bring back that fucking ice cream and that carrot cake, dog.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Hustle deals on the line. Charlie Scassy's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind.